Hi guys, welcome back to More Than Makeup. I'm Kelsey and I'm very excited to bring another guest to you this week. I called this podcast More Than Makeup for a reason because I'm multi-passionate and I think that there's so much more that goes into business and running a business than just surface level. And there's so many more things that I care about outside of business. On this journey of business and my journey of moving to Canada, I was lucky enough to meet Darcie, who is a nutritionist, and we've worked together over the last couple of years, and she's just a wealth of knowledge. And I think that so many makeup artists, hairstylists, and wedding vendors in general can learn a lot from her. If you're a makeup artist, you've probably been or currently are that person who starts the day with caffeine, doesn't eat all day, finishes a job at 3 p.m, and then gets home, has a huge meal, and crashes for the rest of the weekend. And that used to be me. You might even fall asleep immediately and realize that you have zero energy left for the weekend. And we don't really want to be doing that. So that's why I wanted to get Darcie on the show today to talk about nutrition and how we can just have more vitality in our lives and our businesses. So I'm going to let Darcie introduce herself. Darcie, welcome to More Than Makeup.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Tell us who you are and what you do.
Sure. I am a holistic nutritionist. I've been doing this for about 12 years. I write tailored nutrition programs for women. I also work with some men. The women that I work with, a lot of them are coming to me very confused with food. They don't quite know how to fuel their body. A lot of women have tried every yo-yo diet under the sun. And what we know of yo-yo diets is they give us short-term results that usually mess us up in our relationship with food and our sustainable habits. And so my goal is to help women have a better understanding of food, a better relationship with food, and be able to have sustainable habits that they can walk away from my program with and integrate into their everyday life. And I'm working with women that have their food figured out and they have a pretty solid understanding. And then I'm also working with women who eat every meal that's takeout. So there's all kind of levels of learning, but everybody shares in the collective of just wanting to feel better in their body and not have food be a giant looming question mark because it's confusing and there's so much conflicting information out there. So I want to simplify it because food at the core shouldn't be confusing. Yeah.
Yeah, and you really do that well. That's why I like you, because I'm a very no bullshit person when it comes to makeup and business. You're no bullshit when it comes to food. And that's why I resonated with you from the beginning, because your content was very like, this is rubbish. These green drinks are stupid. Like, just, you know? And I'm like, damn, like I really needed that. So I want to talk a bit about how we met and why we started working together. But before we get to that, I have to go all the way back to when I was a working makeup artist, like 5 to 7 years ago. I had a horrible relationship with food, mainly because of our lifestyle really and the demands of our career as makeup artists. So basically just raw dogging nutrition. Makeup jobs are really early start. So, 4 a.m. starts, have the coffee, drive to the job, work all day, barely drink water. And like, I feel like for the most part, we're getting a bit better at understanding our bodies and knowing what's good for us now. So I feel like a lot of makeup artists are better at this now, but I know for sure there'd still be people doing this, and I still do it sometimes on jobs, I forget. But yeah, not drinking all day, definitely not eating until the drive home, where it's a McDonald's drive-through. I used to try and go to Subway, so it was a healthier option. So yeah, and I was just constantly bloated all the time, to the point that I was seeing doctors because I was like, what is wrong with me? I'm severely bloated. And I actually started researching like women's hormonal health and that kind of stuff. I read a book called In the Flow, which I think that every woman needs to read. It's about just understanding your cycle and the cycle phases and how food can fuel you during those phases, but also during the luteal phase, you have zero energy. You're not going to do much creative work that week, So I just learned so much from that and started to be more curious about my body and what was going on. And then I guess when I reached out to you was when I was going through my divorce and I was terribly depressed, anxious, panic attacks, the whole thing, not eating well. Like I was also traveling a lot, so I was eating out a lot, probably drinking a bit too much alcohol. And I just got to the point where I was like, I'm desperate to feel better. Like whatever it takes, I don't care how much money I have to spend, who I need to see, like I need to feel better because this is getting scary. And it was actually Brittany, one of our friends who I had on the podcast last week, who said, you need to reach out to this girl, Darcie, because she does nutrition for women. And a lot of the women that she's seen have said that she's helped them with their anxiety. And I didn't really know that food could help you with anxiety. So that's when I reached out to you. So Darcie, taking my experience as an example, I think so many makeup artists can relate to that feeling off in general, like feeling bloated, a little bit depressed, a little bit anxious. What does your process actually look like when you're building a nutrition program for someone in that state? Like, what's the first thing that you look at to try and start getting them on track?
Well, first of all, what you're describing is a big disconnect with our body. And a lot of the time when you're in that place, there's a lot of mistrust with your body and your signals. And it's been happening for so long that you have lost your hunger cues. Like, you probably at the time didn't have hunger cues very often. And I hear that so much from women that are in that kind of vicious cycle, is their body isn't sending them cues, but they're also not listening because they're feeling really disconnected. They're anxious. They don't know what to eat. Everything is this big question mark. And our gut is the second brain in our body. So when that connection is interrupted, you can lose a lot of your cues and it just feels very confusing. So I would say for somebody that's in that place, the first thing that we would look at is having breakfast in the morning. A lot of people will say, but I'm not hungry in the morning. And the reason being is because there's this big disconnect. We haven't been listening to our body in so long, so we're not receiving those cues. After we've had a full night's sleep, everybody is hungry. We are hungry in the morning. But when we have a coffee first thing in the morning, we're just suppressing that appetite. It's like, okay, go away. We'll talk later. But when it comes back, it's like, wow, I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling panicky. I'm feeling lightheaded. You're so far past the hunger state that you're probably very anxious.
Yeah.
And your tummy is rumbling. And when we're really hungry, we eat something really quick. Our body can only digest the surface area of our food. So you swallow, a big chunk of food. You're not digesting that. Digestion occurs in your mouth. That's the first place that we start our digestion. We break our food to a paste and we swallow it. When we're viciously hungry and we're just swallowing our food, we're giving ourselves indigestion, heartburn, we're bloated. So the first place I would start is having breakfast. And I know it sounds insane, but waiting to have your coffee till after breakfast. I know it's such a hard concept for people to grasp. The issue is that coffee on an empty stomach is just suppressing your appetite. And I talk to so many of these women and they say, but I'm not hungry in the morning. It's like, okay, well, what are you having? A coffee. Like, okay, here we go.
So you want something.
You want something, but that coffee is just suppressing that appetite in your body. So used to receiving that cue of caffeine that it's like, okay, we're hungry, but we're just going to come back a little bit later and it's going to be with a vengeance and we're starving, we're hangry, like we're going to shove anything into our mouth. And that's when women will say that I don't have any discipline around food. And it's probably because you're in these starvation cycles.
Yeah.
So first thing I would do is have breakfast. And a lot of people are stuck in their way. And I have to constantly remind people, look, you keep doing what you're doing and you're going to get the results you've always gotten. You have to be willing to change your mind. You have to be willing to stay open-minded. So a lot of us are set in our ways. And if you want change, we have to change our habits. So stay open to changing that and have breakfast before coffee. Now, what does breakfast look like for women and men? 30 grams of protein. Minimum to start your day. Protein is our most satiating macronutrient, meaning it's going to keep us fuller for longer, versus if we just say gobble down a pastry that's mostly just simple and complex carbohydrates that's going to give you maybe a little boost of brain power, but then you're going to want something 25 minutes later. It's not going to sit with you for very long and be able to keep you functioning. So I would start the day with breakfast, 30 grams of protein. Maybe that's 2 eggs and a serving of lean ground beef. I know people can't wrap their head around eating meat like first thing in the morning.
We're going to get to this because some of your meals are interesting.
Yes. The combinations. Yeah. So to start your day with 30 grams of protein. And you know what? You could have your breakfast and sip your coffee at the same time if you wanted to. Probably what you're going to find is that you have your breakfast and you're not even actually craving that coffee till a little bit later.
I was just going to say, when I have breakfast before my coffee, I don't enjoy my coffee afterwards.
Yeah.
And I know that's telling of like, do I even enjoy this thing or am I just hungry?
Yeah.
Because I'm guilty, still to this day, I'm guilty of waking up and going straight to the coffee machine. And I love it. I'm like, oh, that first sip is just like the best part of my day. But if I've eaten something first, I don't really care for the coffee.
And it's probably because your body's so used to having it on an empty stomach, right? To even push that back till a little bit of the early afternoon to have that after your meal one. Because, yeah, we want to enjoy our coffee. If we're not going to enjoy it,
What's the
even
point?
is the point of it?
Yeah.
So to have it after breakfast, maybe an hour after breakfast, and you'd probably get a similar effect because that first sip of coffee, it feels so good because your stomach is empty. And so you're
you're
getting
hungry.
the full benefit of like, wow, I'm awake. I'm caffeinated. This feels so good.
Yeah.
But then it's like 45 minutes later, if you haven't ate, the anxiety settles
Kicks
in.
Yeah. Can I ask, for a lot of the wedding vendors listening, we're on the go. So like at 4 a.m. in the morning, we're not making eggs. We're not making ground beef. What do you suggest that we take with us on the go on our work days?
Overnight oats.
Yes, I loved that.
Oats, we don't have a lot of protein with oats, next to none. But if you put a scoop of protein powder in it, there, 25 grams of protein. Okay, so you mix all your ingredients in, you take that with you.
Yeah, the protein yogurt on top.
Yeah,
I used to do that.
Yeah, oats, some Greek yogurt,
Chia
maybe a little
seeds.
bit of chia seeds. You're getting your fiber.
Yeah.
I love talking about poop, so I'm very poop friendly, and we're supposed to poop, and it's supposed to be smooth like a snake consistency. So
Well,
we
I think
have
that's
to-
another reason why people go for the coffee first thing in the morning too.
Yeah, it helps them go to the bathroom.
Yes.
Your body does not need caffeine to poop. It needs protein, it needs fiber, it needs healthy fats.
Yeah. It's
And-
funny. I've got this friend, Jess, who was on the podcast a few weeks ago, and we kept talking about how she's got this beautiful nervous system. And she does. She just floats through life, and she's just so peaceful, and she doesn't do caffeine.
Wow.
And when I'm with her, I'm like, damn, like, I think the reason why you're like this is because you're just caffeine free.
Yeah.
And she'll wake up and like have the lemon water and have something to eat, and like everything's smooth and like it works. But I think for a lot of us, we think, oh, we need that caffeine hit to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. And you took a break from caffeine for quite some time, and you were on matcha, right? I guess matcha still has caffeine.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. I was trying to move away from coffee, but I went straight back.
Well, so
I'm a coffee
delicious.
fiend.
Well, and you travel such beautiful places in the world that has delicious coffee. It's like,
Honestly, for me, coffee is an experience for sure. And that's why I do love it first thing in the morning, because it's just my moment. And I think this is the same for a lot of people. We just sit by ourselves, that quiet moment with the coffee. Like, it's an experience.
Yes.
And yeah, I think that's why sometimes I don't eat before the coffee, because I feel like I'm going to lose that experience. But I like what you say about maybe that's something we look forward to at like 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
But going back to the overnight oats, that's what I started doing when I was on your plan. And what I try and do when I travel is, you know, you can prep like 3 in a row.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I
3 or
do that.
4, yeah.
Yeah. And then overnight oats, chia seeds, the yogurt. I think we did like a little bit of maple syrup, a little bit of peanut butter. And that was
milk of
really
choice.
handy. And then when I'm traveling, that's easy to get a hold of as well. Like, you can easily buy yogurt and some muesli from somewhere.
Yeah.
Which we're going to get to, like some tips for traveling and all of that.
You know, a 4 a.m. start, you don't have to have breakfast right away. Like, maybe you want to, but you can wait till you wake up a little bit. But if 4 a.m. is your only opportunity to eat a meal before you are on your feet for 10 hours, like, suck it up and eat it.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of time I have conversations with women like, oh, I'm not hungry. Can I skip this meal? And I ask them, look beyond the moment that you're in. What does the rest of your day look like? If this is your only opportunity to eat, and then you're going to go run errands for 8 hours or be on your feet for 8 hours,
Get it in.
it's okay. Eat it. It's okay to not wait until you're hungry.
Well, I think for us, when we start those early mornings, you know, we're getting up, we're driving somewhere. So you can even take the oats with you, eat right before you go in, which I want to talk about how to factor in like moments and slots in your day to actually eat, because that's something that we don't do. But that's something you could do as well, right? When you get to the job, sit in your car, eat the oats before you go in.
Slowly, as slow as you can. If you have to eat in a rush, I just ask that you chew your food to a pace. Because if you eat that meal really fast, and I hear this all the time from my clients, like, oh, well, if I eat the meal that early, like, I'm going to be bloated. Tell me how fast you're eating it then.
Yeah.
Because guarantee you are woofing it down.
Yeah.
Like, you can eat at a fast pace, but chew it to a pace, because we can only digest the food that's going down the tube. And if it's in a great big chunk, you're not going to digest that. You're going to get bloated, IBS symptoms.
Yeah.
You name it.
Yeah. So this is something I learned before I even met you, to be honest. With the makeup jobs, I had to have something to eat in the morning. And that really helped the bloated feeling that I had, because that I realized it was because I was not eating all day. I was standing on my feet. I was barely drinking, might have thrown an energy drink in there. Also, I think we forget that, like, we're about to start a job. We're going to be using all of our energy. We need something to fuel us through that day.
You know, I think we're getting better at it as more and more information is going out there, but people don't often connect that food is your brain power. Food is your cognitive capacity to carry on a conversation, to do a good job at your work.
Yeah.
You know, like, imagine a surgeon going into heart surgery and they didn't eat anything yet today.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
That is.
Like, you're not going to give your best work.
And then they're going on nothing but caffeine. That is
Yeah.
terrifying. Yeah. We worked together twice. I've done your program. The first time was when I was in the thick of it and just not feeling good. And it was hard for me to change those habits. You know, that was really hard. But I learned so much from you. I didn't really expect that I'd learn this going into it. The first thing was obviously prioritizing protein. And we all know that we have to be eating more protein, but you really just drill into people how important it is, especially starting the day with protein. What are your thoughts on protein shakes and protein bars and protein water and all of that? Because it can be hard to like be eating meat 3-4 times a day. And also, this is a whole other thing, but I'm sure there'd be some vegans and vegetarians listening as well. So we don't really have to go down that path. But yeah, just talk about that and like your thoughts on.
I think that protein powder definitely has a place in our day, and it can, for helping us get, 25 to 30 grams of protein. But tell me the other sources of protein that you're getting, because if we are having a protein shake and then we're also having a protein bar, that is now 50 grams of processed protein. It's not just one ingredient, it's protein. It is a processed food. There's definitely some cleaner protein powders and there's some pretty nasty protein powders. So I try myself to only have protein powder once a day. And yeah, there's the odd time where it's protein powder in a day and I'm also grabbing a protein bar. But you're definitely going to feel that in your body. And if you have a sensitive digestive system, where is this IBS-like symptom coming of feeling bloated and blah, and maybe not able to go to the bathroom, I would look at what your protein sources are.
Yeah.
So yes, it can definitely be in your day, but I would try to have it only once.
Yeah.
And not have that be the protein that you're relying on to build your whole protein in your day.
Yeah. You made me totally fall in love with meat again.
Yeah.
My dad was a butcher, so I grew up eating meat. Like there's videos of me when I'm like one, like chewing on a T-bone.
Nice.
It's in my blood. But going back to what you were saying about yo-yo dieting, I've yo-yo dieted my whole life and I've done everything. I don't know if you remember the Atkins diet, did that. I've done the keto thing. I've done Herbalife.
Oh, yeah.
The MLM.
Yeah.
Where you drink nothing but shakes. I've done the soup diet, which I will say worked a treat for my mum and my aunties 20 years ago when they were trying to lose weight for my auntie's wedding. And it was a big thing. Everyone was on the soup diet.
How's their relationship with food now?
I feel like in my family, we love food.
Yeah.
We always have. But the funny thing is I've always had an issue with my body. But my mum has never spoken negatively about her body ever in front of me.
Wow.
And she's never criticized me for my body. I'll go to my mum and say, hey, do I look like I've put on weight? And she will never say yes. She always say, oh, no, you look great. So I don't know where I got my issues from. I think it come from like when I was in year 2, so I was like 8, and I remember this so clearly. It's so crazy. But a girl at school called me fat. And so I think that started a cycle for me, to be honest. For sure. And then it became an insecurity. And then one of my first boyfriends picked up on that insecurity and would call me fat when we fought. And so I think that led me into this series of like yo-yo dieting and never really being happy. So yeah, like a few years ago, I did the vegan thing and I really enjoyed it. I explored, different recipes a lot and it was fun doing something new, but I did feel a bit depleted. Started kind of eating meat again. And then when I met you, you were like,
That meat girl.
yeah. And then I just got excited about it because I realized how much I actually loved meat and how good it felt to eat it and how much more like satiated I felt after the meals.
And a lot of what you were feeling kind of subsided, that anxiety and the feeling full in your body. And protein, like if we break it down, those are the building blocks of our cells. We need that for basic function.
Yeah.
So I've worked with a lot of plant-based eaters that come back to meat because they're just feeling so depleted. And it's one of the first things they notice is, wow, I feel like I have energy again.
Yeah,
like
I really
have my
noticed
life
that.
force back.
And also like when you start eating meat again and prioritizing meat, meals don't need to be complicated. Like I'll throw a steak on the stove, I'll put some eggs on the side and call it a day. Like that's all it needs to be. I'm not the best cook and I'd rather my meals be simple. So that's another reason why I love meat, because with meat it can be simple. It just takes like the guesswork out of like, what am I going to cook tonight? It's like just, have a steak. So yeah, I think that's a big thing I took from your program was just prioritizing protein more than you think. The second thing I learned from you, which just stuck with me and really changed my life, is the eating at home philosophy. It's insane. Like, I think because of my traveling and all of that, I'm just used to eating out a lot. I'm used to ordering and having dinner at restaurants and eating breakfast out and like all of that kind of stuff. And you just like really reinforce eat at home. The meals are going to be healthier. You're going to have control over the ingredients, have control over how much you actually take in, right? Because at restaurants and stuff, there's a plate of fries there. Like I'm eating the whole plate, you know? I'm to the point now where since I've been back in Canada, which has been almost 3 months, me and my husband have not been out once. We are obsessed with eating at home. I used to go out for breakfast and we talk about it now and we're like, why did we go out for breakfast? Like what we make at home is so much better. My husband loves to cook. We would just go out for the sake of it, but we are obsessed with eating at home. I cook every single day, even if it's something simple like salads and whatnot. I did one of your programs. The second time I did it, I was at home in Australia at my mum's house. Every day we ate at home. We're freezing things for when we're a bit busier. When I had surgery that time, my husband made a big soup. We just love eating at home. So why do you preach that?
So many reasons. Well, first of all, very normal to feel uncomfortable in the kitchen. There's a handful of people I work with that come to me and they're like, I love cooking. Like, oh, bless, amazing. But most people, they're lacking confidence in the kitchen. And when you lack confidence, you feel like you don't have the ability to do it. And cooking at home, first thing, you get control of the ingredients. You also get to control the portion.
Exactly.
But the biggest thing is you control the ingredients so it can be good quality food. I mean, you can also use bad ingredients.
Yeah.
It could be that way too. But when you get control of the ingredients, you know that it's going to be a healthier meal. You can stop when you're satisfied. You can put the leftovers away. You could make what you're going to be eating. You don't have to have that big plate of food if you're not going to eat it. But the biggest thing I would say is just having control over the ingredients. And let's be honest, anything that you're getting at a restaurant is going to be loaded in oil because it usually is. We wouldn't normally cook like that at home. So you're not only getting a healthier meal, but you're also saving calories in a calorie-laden meal when it's just an omelet that probably had 4 tablespoons of oil in the pan to cook it. That's one of the things that folks on my nutrition program will tell me, like, you've kind of ruined me, Darcie, to eat out anymore because
I don't enjoy it.
I don't enjoy it. My food tastes better at home, even if I am a mediocre cook. Like, if you make your food at home, you know it tastes better, it feels better in your body. And so many women will say, I feel so unwell after I eat out.
That's what I've noticed. So now when we go out, most often I'm coming home and I'm feeling a little bit nauseous or something's not right in my stomach to the point that I'm taking like a Gravel or something to go to bed. Or waking up the next day feeling a little bit hungover
from
even
food.
if I haven't drunk.
Yeah.
Like I'm feeling hungover from food. I've got the Aura ring and I'm not wearing it today actually, but I have been using it to really understand my sleep cycle and what triggers me when I have a bad sleep or what helps me have a better sleep. And I'm not drinking much alcohol at the moment. So the other night we went for dinner. I went with my girlfriends and I came home, went to bed and woke up at 2 a.m. wide awake. That would typically happen to me if I'd had a couple of drinks. Like I'd wake up in the middle of the night and not be able to get back to sleep, but I hadn't drank any alcohol. And the only thing I could put my finger on was that I'd been out to a restaurant and it was like greasy chicken and that kind of stuff. And I just thought that that was maybe what set me off. And so that's what I notice now when we go out, that I'm never feeling totally well in myself. And so that's why we just love eating at home now. Yeah. And like we'll talk about going for dinner and then we're like, oh, you know what? Let's just make it here. It's going to be way better. Yeah. We're going to feel better.
And here's the other thing. You were feeling that before, but feeling unwell in your body was so normal.
Yes, and not even realizing.
Yeah, it gives me goosebumps. Yeah. I just love that because it's not this great awakening. I mean, it is, but when you're used to feeling, when blah is the standard, I'm always bloated. I always have trouble going poo. I always have indigestion. Yeah. That's your baseline.
Yeah.
But when you start becoming more aware and you're in tune with your body and how food feels and you cook your meals at home and your ingredients are so much cleaner, the normal is your body functioning as it should. And when you get that feeling, you want to hold on to it at all costs. Yes. It takes one food hangover to be like, fuck that. Yeah. It's not worth it.
Yes.
Or like, I'll do this once in a while. It's fine. It's going to be okay.
I'll deal with it.
Yeah.
I'll deal with the bloated stomach tomorrow, but you don't want to do it.
No. When you feel good and that's the normal, you are so hyper aware of when you eat something and you don't feel good after.
Yeah, how it triggers you.
And the goal is to feel good. We want to feel good. And as our body should. Our body is working with us. And I think too, when women are really in that cycle, there's so much distrust with their body. And it's kind of like you think of it as a separate entity, like me battling my body. But your body is so divine. It's so smart. It's trying to give you signals. But when you're so disconnected, when you've tried every yo-yo diet, when you don't trust it, when you see the scale go up and it sends you into a spiral, you don't trust yourself.
Yeah. And this is why, like, I've really cut back on drinking alcohol too, because I mean, we all know that alcohol's bad for you, but I just kept fighting it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And like, a couple of margaritas with the girls, glass of champagne here and there. But I notice it now. Like one glass, I'm waking up the next morning feeling a bit foggy. And like that could be a bit of an age thing as well. I think you notice it more.
I think as we get older, we're so much more aware that alcohol does not agree with us.
Yeah.
Maybe we can handle it better in our early 20s, but as you get older and you progress in your relationship with health and feeling good in your body, alcohol doesn't sit well. It's inflammation in a glass. Like, do you willingly want to have it? And I think too, as entrepreneurs, we celebrate. Like, we want to celebrate milestones. And I think alcohol is just so easy to celebrate with.
Yeah.
It's addictive. It feels good. Like, we got this big win. Let's celebrate with it. But what about celebrating by having a coffee and going for a nature walk,
Yeah.
Like finding different ways to celebrate. But it's hard because when your friend circle celebrates with alcohol and has it often, you have to distance yourself from that.
It's a social thing for sure. I read a book a few years ago called Quit Like a Woman.
Ooh.
I think you would love it. It's amazing. Instead of saying alcohol, she calls it ethanol because that's what it is.
That's what it is.
It does something to your brain where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm literally drinking poison. Don't get me wrong. I'm not giving up champagne anytime soon, but I'm just more aware of it. I think just waking up fresh and waking up excited to take on the day and not feeling foggy or not feeling depressed is such a beautiful feeling. And that's a big thing that I took away from your program. Something I learned from you, which this is what I really didn't expect from the program, was just the nervous system regulation. And obviously that's why I initially came to you, because I was anxious and depressed and wanted to figure it out. But you taught me things outside of food. Like, obviously, you gave me the food program and I followed that. But, we would do like a check-in every Sunday. I would tell you what I was struggling with. And then you would give me tips that were like not food related that were so helpful. One of them was, which I think about this every morning when I wake up, was the second you wake up, you need sunlight in your eyes. We're all so guilty of grabbing the phone. I literally did it this morning. I picked up my phone mainly just to see, like, I knew you were here and like I wanted to see if you'd message me and like just an excuse to touch my phone.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I'm on Instagram for 15 minutes. And we all know that makes us feel like shit for the rest of the day. Something I try and do is leave my phone outside of my bedroom.
Yes.
Even if I have to set an alarm, like I'll still wake up to an alarm if it's in the bathroom, So you taught me that we need sunlight in our eyes the second we wake up. In a previous podcast, I talked about a therapist told me to walk outside and step on grass. And when I was thinking about it and preparing for this podcast, it wasn't actually a therapist, it was you who taught me that.
Me, I'm the therapist.
But you did somewhat like take on that role as a therapist for me during that time by giving me these extra tips. Like, you gave me permission that during these big makeup jobs that I was doing, it's okay to take a break. Like, if you're feeling anxious or depressed or you just need a breather, step outside, take your shoes off, walk around in the grass and ground yourself.
And I think that was kind of an SOS moment for you. You were in Europe at the time. You messaged me. You were like, I feel really dysregulated. I can't get my hands on any protein. I feel like I'm really depleted. And I said, okay, put your phone down, take your shoes off, and first thing you do is go and put your feet on the ground.
Yeah.
That's absorbing the Earth's magnetism, going right through the pillars of your body. Nothing is going to ground you faster than getting your bare skin on the ground. So that was like step one, get out there, take a breath. Now, where can we go and get a meal that's going to be balanced for you?
So hard in Italy.
So hard, yeah.
Oh my gosh, which we'll get to.
I also want to talk about advocating for yourself in these jobs where it's like, but we don't get breaks. Well, guess what? You gotta.
Yes. And this is something makeup artists struggle with. In general, makeup artists struggle speaking up for themselves. They let the clients push them around. At the end of the day, the clients will respect us as professionals if we set our own boundaries. So I will say to my clients, hey, I'm going to arrive at 9. Makeup doesn't need to start until 9:30. I'm going to allow an hour per person, knowing that I only really take 50 minutes per person, but I'm saying an hour so that I've got room for breaks in between. I will say to my clients, hey, I'm just stepping outside to eat my lunch. No one's ever said, you're not allowed to do that. They respect it. But I think it's like this inner people pleaser that a lot of makeup artists have that we just don't do that. So that's why I really wanted to talk about this because I think it's something we all need to work into our work days and own it and be okay with like taking a break and stepping outside, you know?
And it goes back to, do you want to do a good job at what you're doing? You can't do that on fumes. You're not going to be happy with your work. Your client's probably not going to be happy with it. You have to be able to fuel yourself. And a makeup artist's job actually reminds me a lot of my nursing clients who are like 10 to 14 hour shifts. They can hardly drink water. They don't have time. You know, the community thinks that they're helping by bringing Timbits and donuts into the lunchroom. It's just laden with processed foods. They all feel terrible. They're under depleted. And I work with so many of these nursing clients and I see so much overlap in the makeup world.
That's interesting.
Which is so wild to compare the two.
So for the makeup artists or the busy wedding vendors that are on their feet all day but barely kind of moving, what are your non-negotiable tips for fueling a big work day so we're not crashing out the second we hit the door? I know you've already mentioned breakfast. What else can we do throughout that work day so when we get home we have energy for our husbands and our families and our kids and our friends?
Before that work day begins, when you have a plan with food, it's not going to be messy and chaotic. When you have your groceries in your fridge, and I understand that when your destination, like you don't have that, but I think so much of the time we are thinking in the right now. Like, what do I need right now? But when you start thinking about future you can plan for when I get home and I'm going to be burnt the fuck out, I'm going to have this ready for me. So that is a very foundational part of my program, is getting people to move out of the I think for myself right now. I'm thinking about 5 minutes from now. Think about 6 hours from now.
Yeah.
What's Kelsey going to be doing at home and what is available to her? What are her options? So even just changing that frame of thought of, oh, I can think beyond the what I need right now and like, what is the rest of my day going to look like? I feel like it's less chaotic thinking because you have future yous back.
It's just like preparation.
Preparation, yeah. I think for that kind of a day that you mentioned, getting outside for fresh air. You know, you've got 5 minutes, go to the patio, go find the sunlight if there is any, and just put your body outside. There's nothing that's going to reset your nervous system faster than taking in fresh air. You know, I don't know if you're under fluorescent lights, probably not, because that's not good lighting for makeup artists, but being inside a stuffy space and then getting to go outside to get some fresh air, not chug an energy drink, have a sip of water. Is there a snack around? Can I chew it slowly to a paste? I wouldn't look at my phone personally, but that's a tricky one.
This is something.
Especially with content and things that you're doing.
Yes.
Maybe even just setting yourself up in the day knowing, okay, I'm going to have a heavy screen time day because I'm posting and all these things. What are my bare minimum things that I need? I need to bring my Stanley with me. I have a protein bar and an apple in my purse.
I think for us as makeup artists, when you mentioned the fluorescent lights and whatnot, for us, it's the energy in the room. So we're normally in a room with like 15 plus people.
Yes.
It's loud. It's chaotic. It's someone's big day. That's a lot to take in as someone who's working. Like when you're trying to focus and be a professional, we work in weddings. That's just the way it is. But that's where I've learned to step outside and just recollect my thoughts again.
Definitely.
It's life-changing. What you said about the screen time in the breaks is really interesting. I listened to a podcast once on Mel Robbins and she had some expert on there who was saying that in your breaks throughout the day, whatever you do in any career, when you're taking breaks, you shouldn't be on your phone because when you're on your phone, your brain's still working. You're not actually breaking.
Yeah.
This is hard for us because I also preach like edit as you're going so that you don't have to do as much work when you get home, you know? But oftentimes I will just be like, you know what, I'm going to deal with this later. I need a break. I'm putting the phone down. So I like that you mentioned that.
And again, like advocating for yourself. We've got so many people pleasers out there, and I think that's a deeply ingrained habit, especially for women. But you're taking your break and say someone is with you and they're like, oh, let's go and do this together. And you can. But also, if you need 5 for yourself, that you can go out and find a little cozy corner and you're standing there barefoot, close your eyes, take some deep breaths. It's okay to be like, I just need 5 minutes for myself.
Yep.
And it makes you uncomfortable because it needs to happen, right? No change is going to happen when we're all comfy and gushy about it.
So
Speaking up for yourself, it's hard to do, but it's
hard
necessary.
to do, but then once you do it, you're like, huh, wasn't that hard after all?
This feels great.
Yeah.
I love this. I'm addicted to this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to pivot to something that's been a huge challenge for me the last few years. Another big reason why I wanted to work with you is traveling and doing these destination weddings. I found it so hard to maintain habits. I did put on quite a lot of weight when I started to travel because all of a sudden my routine is totally different. I'm on airplanes constantly eating nothing but carbohydrates. I'm drinking more alcohol. I'm eating out of hotels. I'm not having breakfast every morning. I still find it hard. I actually spoke to a woman named Katrina Roundtree, who the Australians will know who she is, but she works on an Australian TV show called Getaway.
Okay.
And so they travel the world year round. And I did her makeup recently and she's just like a vision of health. And I said to her, hey, how do you maintain your health and vitality with all this traveling? And she gave me some tips, but she also said it's so hard and everyone that joins the production gets sick or gains weight and just struggles with it because when you're traveling, you just can't have a normal routine. I prefer to stay in hotels for security most times, which means that there's no kitchen. In Italy, trying to find an egg.
I think this was the SOS when you were in Italy that you sent me.
Oh my gosh. Because I had 1 month in Italy that time.
Yeah.
I've never felt worse in my body in my life. Like honestly, all you can get for breakfast there is a croissant and a coffee with full cream milk. I know you like full cream. I'm an oat girl. That to me, to start the morning with a cup of dairy milk and a croissant. It was so awful. Just felt completely depleted. But you have taught me to be more creative and actually ask for what I need at restaurants. I know you love the Airbnb for that, so you can cook your own meals. But what are your best tips for staying fueled while traveling without getting depleted? Because I think that I still struggle with that now.
I think one of your best friends when you're traveling is walking. Not on the food subject, but walking. If you're eating more, that means you're also moving less.
Yeah.
If you're gaining weight, your step count has gone down and you're in a new place, every opportunity to walk. And if that means walking to find better food sources too, like walk more. Walks are your friends. Have your step count be higher than it normally would be at home. But I understand that can be tricky if you're standing in the same place for hours and hours on the day. I would say one of the best tips for traveling, looking in unconventional places for food. 7-Eleven has hard-boiled eggs.
There is no 7-Eleven in Italy.
There's no
in Europe. I mean, they have little gas stations.
They have little things like that. And again, it goes to, yes, there's all these croissant shops and pastry places. Be willing to go and look for something that you need. And that can be tricky and it's outside of your comfort zone and it takes longer. But if you want to find something, you're going to probably have to go and look for it.
It's so true. We were in Italy just last year, actually. Also, the problem with a lot of these jobs is that the clients, which is not necessarily the clients' jobs to think about us as vendors, like we should be bringing our own food and all of that. It's always nice when the client thinks of us and includes us in their day. A lot of the times they don't. So you'll get to the wedding. If you don't bring anything, you're not eating all day and there's nothing there for you. Me and my friend Jess had this huge job in Tuscany and we're driving and, we're trying to find a gas station or something because I'm like, I need food. I can't start this job without food. We come up to this deli that was like a sandwich shop essentially. Like, what do they call them? Like they're big chunky sandwiches.
Oh, okay,
You fill them with meat and vegetables and whatnot. And I went in there and they had this whole range of vegetables and salads and whatnot that's meant to go on the sandwich. And I was like, hey, can I just get a plate and like just load up the plate with all of these things? And like everyone was looking at me like I was an idiot. They're like, well, who is this girl and what is she asking for? But yeah, I just got some chicken and I got some zucchini and some artichokes and like whatever I could find that I knew would fuel me. The first thing I was looking for was the meat. So you have to be creative, is my point.
Yeah, look at something in an unconventional kind of way and speak up for yourself as well. Can I get this? Somebody's looking at you with an eyebrow raised, like, can you do what? Can you do it? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Like, okay. So it's there. You just got to be able to find it. I think if you are really hard pressed in a day like that, telling yourself that, okay, this is not my normal.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm not going to spontaneously combust. The sky is not going to fall. I've eaten too many pastries today, but this is not my normal. And people can really spiral from that and have that day turn into tomorrow. That is an entire week that's gone by. I always like to say your next choice gets you back on track.
Yeah.
Because so often when we have a meal or a whole day and we feel like shit after we eat like that, it's like, oh, well, fuck it. Start again on Monday. But that just continues this vicious cycle. As soon as you can say, okay, my next meal, and maybe it's even after a full day of shit meals and it's your dinner, that next meal that gets me on track. I'm making something even when I don't want to. That power of getting back on track with your next choice.
Yeah, I learned that from you actually, now that you mentioned that. And this is where being prepared and meal prepping and stuff helps. But after very big jobs, for me, it's the masterclasses. But for working makeup artists, it could just be 3 weddings back to back. You're burnt out. You feel hungover, even though you haven't drank any alcohol. You're just burnt out in general. And that's where typically I would spiral. I would be like, okay, it's McDonald's, it's Chinese, it's whatever's going to make me feel good in this moment. And then we're just going to keep doing that until the weekend's over. What I learned from you is, okay, have that one bad meal after the masterclass, go out and celebrate, have the glass of champagne, wake up in the morning and have your breakfast there ready to go and start fresh.
Back on track.
Yes. And that's been really helpful. Going back to traveling, something I've struggled with is that being on the planes a lot because everything's pasta, carbs, blah, blah, blah. You had a post go viral earlier this year, the steak on a plane.
I just did that yesterday too.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you film it?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully you can get that up before this podcast goes out so everyone will know what the whole steak on a plane thing is about. But why don't you tell us?
If you've never eaten steak out of a Ziploc bag, you are not traveling well. No. So that is what I do to avoid airport food. And yes, I will get airport food from time to time. I'm not always prepared with a steak in a bag, but what I will do is I will cook up a steak. So the day before is steak night and I make an extra steak and I put that little baby in a Ziploc bag and slice myself a big chunk of Parmesan cheese. Parmesan cheese is very easy to digest. It's low in lactose. A lot of dairy sensitive folks can have it and it's high protein. So my meal on a plane is a steak out of a Ziploc bag and a big old hunk of Parmesan and usually an apple or an orange or some piece of fruit.
Are you getting weird looks on the plane when you do that?
Oh, yeah. Weird looks from people that feel like shit in their body.
This is the thing. Like, I care too much what people think about.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. And I usually have some pretty good conversations. Like, wow, I wish that was my meal. People are weird with eggs, I find, like hard-boiled eggs. Like, I will respect people's egg dislikes and not pull out a hard-boiled egg, but I will eat that in the terminal for sure.
Yeah, hard-boiled eggs are good to have.
They travel. They're so
easy.
So well. And a steak travels well, too. Like, what about a fridge? Yes, okay, you're not going to be pulling out a dusty old steak after 18 hours of your trip, but it's going to be the first thing you eat, and you could say no to the pasta dish or whatever's coming because you have this steak that you're pulling out of a bag. And a lot of people don't realize that you can travel with food.
Yeah, I know you can. I just am never bothered. I'm like, it's another thing I need to pack and carry in my bag.
Yeah, but if you start, like you're going on a really long flight and you have that one meal that is a steak and a piece of parm and an apple, then the meal that comes that's pasta and Alfredo or whatever it is, you're going to feel better about eating it because you had that foundational meal. Not always going to happen, but maybe before you get on the plane, you're looking at one of the restaurants and you're like, okay, I'm going to order a steak or I'm going to order a poke bowl or something that is protein forward, that the highlight of that meal is protein before I go on that
That's
plane.
usually what I do. Like, I usually will get to the airport and try and find a healthy-ish meal before the flight so I can say no to all the bread and chips and all of that. Have you seen that guy on TikTok that's going viral for eating onions on the plane?
No.
Oh my gosh. It's diabolical to watch. He's doing it just for engagement and views and rage bait and whatnot, but he's literally eating a full onion. And the funny part of the video is watching the people's reaction.
Yeah.
So, like, you should make that a thing with your steak.
Definitely. That will definitely put me out of my comfort
Okay,
zone.
I'm going to do that this year. You've just made
Do
me, yeah, you have to put me to the challenge. I'm going to eat a steak on a plane
And I
this
don't know
year.
what it is about, like, cold steak. It's so good.
I've never had a cold
so
steak in
good.
my life.
You'll like it.
Okay.
I want to go back to the full travel day. Say you're in a European country and you're looking for something to eat. Pop into the grocery store. One of my favorite couple of items to get are Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. Lots of the time you can get even cooked chicken breast. Maybe not in all places, but look for it.
Yeah.
You might be able to find it. And for dairy sensitive folks, you can look for anything that's dairy free that might have protein in it. You could have a protein bar, even though I said that you should limit those, but just be willing to look for it. I think when we can't find something right away, it's like, oh, well, fuck it. Here's the croissant.
Yes.
Well, did you
really look?
Like, do you want to look even?
Yeah.
And so many people play this story of like, oh, it's not there, so I'm not going to look.
Yeah.
But you got to change that story.
So when I'm traveling now, what I'll do is go to a grocery store,
Yep.
I get bananas, I get yogurt, I get nuts, or I'll bring nuts with me. I try and get some chicken breast of some sort that I can put in a fridge at the hotel or whatever. I will get ham. I don't know if that's a great protein source. Cans of tuna. And I did ask you once what you thought about that. You said it wasn't your number one go-to, but if it's all I could get, then it's better than nothing. The cans of tuna are really easy to get and they're really easy to travel with. Not great to pull out on a plane, but you know, when you're in a hotel room by yourself, like it's easy enough to get like a salad pack and dump a can of tuna on. Like that's what I'll do.
What's lacking in there a little bit is fiber. So when we're looking at, say, building a good BM, think of it as a triangle. On one side, we've got lubrication coming from our fats, so our avocados, our nuts and seeds, our fattier cuts of meat, salmon, chicken thighs kind of thing. On the other side, we have bulk coming from fiber-rich foods. So your fruit, your veggies, your avocado also doubles as your fats. And then on the other side is your hydration, so how much water you're drinking. That's going to build good digestion. What would be missing in that little grocery dump, I would say, is an avocado. You got your nuts and seeds, so you do have some fats covered. But I would get an avocado. I would get more fruit. And when you're in an exotic place, like eat as much fruit as your little heart desires. Do not even for a second think about the sugar and fruit. That's just a bunch of bullshit. We need to eat fruit, and it's so easy and abundant in tropical places like Italy, like clementine season. So look at what the foods are in the place that you're going that are in season, that you see in abundance. And it's going to be easy to do by going in the grocery store like, oh my gosh, so many oranges because it's orange season or whatever. When I don't get enough protein in my day, I'm looking at fiber.
Okay.
So my fruit and my veggies, I know that's abundant, so I'm going to eat it. It's high volume food, so it's going to stay with you for a little bit. It's not going to be satiating like protein, but you're eating a lot of fruit because you're in a hot destination.
Yeah.
We don't get that kind of fruit where we live, so
that's true.
Eat it in abundance.
Yeah. I've also started packing the protein powder with me as well.
That's a great
Just
one.
easy to have something, make a shake first thing in the morning. I've also recently bought a little travel
Blender?
Yes.
They're so great.
I haven't used it yet, but I was just in Mexico and it was an all-you-can-eat buffet type thing. But, you know, sometimes I start my morning with the protein shake. That's how I get the 30 grams of protein, and it's just the easiest, quickest thing for me. So I missed that when I travel. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to buy the blender and I'm just going to do it myself.
Yeah. And you don't even have to do the blender. Like you could bring your shaker cup with the little shaker ball in it.
Yep.
I know it's boring, but protein powder and water.
Yeah. Well, that's
With
what I
a,
typically
with a banana
do.
on the side.
Yeah,
You don't have
same.
to blend it. Yeah.
I want to pivot a little bit and talk about fitness.
Ooh.
I would say I've been a fitness girl for about 10 years. Again, the yo-yo fitness. Like I've done F45. I've done CrossFit. I did the running thing, ran a 10K run, was obsessed with running. Don't always love the workout itself, but I've grown to love how working out makes me feel. In my episode on grief, which I recorded a few months ago, I talked about how just working out really helped me on my journey of healing and just feeling better in myself. Love fitness for what it does for my mental health. You're a massive advocate for lifting weights. You have a gym in your house. And even on the program, you were really like encouraging me to lift weights. I'm in my soft girl Pilates era now, which I'm really loving. I'm loving Legree, which is a workout we have over here, which I would say is like still considered weights.
What is it?
It's like Pilates, but you're on a megaformer. And it's you move very slowly, but it's
Not
like
a reformer, it's a megaformer.
it's called a megaformer. It's bigger and bulkier and like
Okay, more things to do on it?
yes.
Okay.
And it is like my muscles are sore after it. It'd be good to get you in a class while we're here.
Yeah.
However, I know as we age as women, we do lose muscle and it's a big deal for women. Can you talk about what you recommend for exercise to go alongside your nutrition program? Does it have to be heavy weights all the time, or is there a middle ground for the girls that are into Pilates and just like softer exercises in general?
I think it's really important to know that having muscle mass on your body is one of the best things that you could do for your health as you age, your longevity. And if I were to ask anybody what their dream body looks and feels like, I can guarantee you it's through weight training and not through doing long distance running. I get asked all the time, is there any fat loss supplements, any drinks that I can take that will help my metabolism? Let me tell you, the best fat loss that is out there is having muscle on your vessel, because muscle takes up so much energy. It burns calories just by sitting because it takes so much energy to just be present on your body. So I think that everybody should have a desire to, well, I mean, it's okay to hate it. This could be like, I dread this, but I look forward to how it's going to feel afterwards. To have a plan with weight training, and I would say 3 days a week of strength training. And that would be on top of your Pilates or your sessions. And maybe when you're first starting out, maybe that looks like one session. I think everybody should work up to it being 3 days.
Yeah.
And if you have no idea what you're doing, like, welcome to the majority of people that enter weight training. And I didn't get a gym in my basement overnight. It took me years to build up that equipment. And for the longest time, my gym equipment was a yoga mat and a set of 8-pound dumbbells. And I rocked it.
Yeah.
And then as I started lifting heavier and my body started changing and I realized how much strength I had, it's like, okay, I want to add a squat rack here. I want to expand my dumbbells. And the desire for that just kind of slowly built over time. I didn't get my gym overnight. And so if you're feeling really intimidated and you're like, I don't know where the heck to start, it's with anything. You don't have to have all the answers. Get a couple of personal training sessions. And get familiar with the movement, with the exercise. Don't give a fuck about what people are doing in the gym. And if anybody's watching you, I know it's hard to do. But get a personal trainer. Don't pretend to have all the answers yourself. If you feel well equipped to watch a YouTube video and then go do that in the gym, amazing. But if you don't feel confident doing it, invest in yourself. Spend a couple $100 or whatever it is to get 10 sessions with a personal trainer so that you know how to do a dumbbell curl.
Yeah, that's been helpful for me. I got a personal trainer here in town and I was doing like 3 to 4 days a week with her initially, but now I just do like 1 a week because she taught me how to do the moves. I'm very intimidated walking into a big gym. I'm also not super self-motivated. I'd rather go to a class. In the class, I'll be following everything she says and doing everything right. But on my own, I think I slack a bit. So that's why I like going to the personal trainer, because she taught me how to do the moves properly. But what I was going to say is that even if it feels a bit daunting, for me, I would rather go and lift weights than go for a run. It feels like less work. To be honest, than doing a crazy cardio class. Like,
you can have both of those worlds. You can be a runner and still make time for weightlifting. And it's actually going to improve your running. You're going to be a better runner. And you're going to probably get the body that you dream to have with a blend of both worlds.
And a big thing that you encouraged in your program with me was the 10,000 steps a day. Why do we struggle to walk 10,000 steps a day? Like, what is it with that? It's just so hard for a lot of us to hit that 10K. I mean, we have lives, people have families and kids and full-time jobs. Not everyone here has the flexibility that some entrepreneurs have. Like, some are working full-time jobs and doing makeup on the weekends. Like, how are we finding time for 10,000 steps a day?
So 10,000 steps is not a magic number by any means. You know, like when you were on the program, it was actually 5,000 and you lost 10 pounds. Doing 5,000 steps a day, cooking all of your food at home. And that was a soft spot for you. That was a magic number for you.
I put that down to eating at home.
Definitely.
Honestly, I was doing a bit of Peloton as well. But no, I wasn't really doing any weightlifting or anything.
10K is not a magic number, but this is the baseline that works for a lot of people. Maybe that number is 7,000 to you. If you're coming from a place of like, gosh, it's a struggle to get 2,000 steps in, set a realistic goal. And I think that's where we can get into some trouble when we set our goals, is we have to be realistic with our expectations. Set a 5,000 step count goal. And the reason it is so hard to get 10K steps by the end of the day is people try to start those steps in the late afternoon or jam it into the evening. If you move your body first thing in the morning, and even if it's for 15, 20 minutes, you are so much more primed to want to move more. You've woken up your metabolism, you've given yourself energy, and you're just naturally going to want to move more if you get a burst of movement in first thing in the day. So I'm talking, you got 10 minutes. I can't tell you the number of times I've got 5 minutes and I go on my treadmill for 5 fucking minutes, which feels so useless, but I got 1,000 steps in doing that. So I think the biggest thing is starting your movement at the start of your day. And even if it's for something that's really small, 10 minutes, start there. You're going to naturally be more inclined to move more because you've gotten that burst of energy and your body's going to be giving you these nudges to push more versus being, stagnant all day and then like, oh my gosh, I got to go and get 10,000 more steps. And that's why it's hard, because you've left it to the end of the day.
If you can get up in the morning and like walk around the block, sometimes I will go and do my little grocery run in the morning just so I can walk over to the grocery store. The walking pads are great. I see a lot of TikToks at the moment where The girls are jumping on the walking pad the second they're awake.
Yeah.
And something else I learned from you, so many things. For me, I'm a content creator at this point. I'm barely doing makeup anymore. I'm on my damn phone all day, sitting on my butt, editing content. You taught me to do that on the treadmill.
Yeah.
I don't like editing content on my walks because I follow a lot of big creators that talk about this, and they talk about how on their long walks, they're editing their content. I hate doing that. I would rather be present in that walk and have that like my meditation, take in the sounds and the sights of where I'm walking and all of that. I would rather that be a phone-free moment.
Yeah.
But I will jump on the treadmill to edit my content. Also, all of a sudden, you've walked for 50 minutes and it's just flown by because you're on your phone, and like time goes so quick when you're on your phone.
Yeah, getting still a walking pad, and I don't even have a walking pad. I have a treadmill that I've kind of built this desk over. And yeah, I like doing stories on my treadmill. I have a hard time editing content unless it's like a very simple thing. But
Yeah.
like oftentimes I'll have to go on the rails to like put my feet on the rails and like try to edit something very specific. But yeah, if you are spending a lot of time on a screen, move while you're doing it. If you can, there's going to be some part of your work day that you could try to be doing it on a walking
Totally.
pad.
Even if you set an alarm or something every hour to just move your body. I think the Apple Watches, you can set little things on them to just remind you, you know.
And walking pads are so big right now. As a content creator, reach out to a couple of brands. I bet that they would send you a product.
Totally. They're everywhere.
they're
They're
everywhere.
everywhere. And they're relatively cheap to buy. I think I
they
looked
are.
at one for like $150. They're pretty accessible now.
And to go back to finding a fitness style that you really like, I think is so important. A lot of people like to follow a class and they like having an instructor present that goes through all the motions with them alongside of everybody in the class. I think when you are new to your fitness journey, it's important to find the style that you like, that you can be, and I mean, you don't have to necessarily like it, but that you can get consistent with. What you can put into your schedule to go 3-5 days a week, and you like it because it's easy enough for you to be consistent with.
Yeah.
For some people, that's personal training sessions. Some people, it's classes. And that's going to change over time too. Say you get 10 personal training sessions, and all of a sudden you're like, I kind of want to go to the gym and do this arm workout that my trainer showed me. And I'm just doing it on my own free will. So it's going to change.
Yeah.
But be willing to find something that's going to work for you. And the thing that's going to work for you is what you can be most consistent with. And that's the steps too. If you can get consistent hitting 7,000 steps and that's your number, amazing. Once you get to the level where you're consistently getting that 7,000 steps in, raise the bar a little higher. And now you're going for 9,000.
Yeah, you start where you're comfortable. It's funny, I always compare, and I don't know why I do this, but I compare content to fitness. So I always use this analogy where I say, if you want to lose weight or get fit, you have to go to the gym every single day. If you want to become successful and build a brand, you have to post every day. It's the same thing. It's all discipline. It's all consistency. But just like you saying with the workout classes or whatever it is, you know, your training style, like start with whatever's easiest. I say the same thing with content and branding. Like start where you're comfortable and start whatever feels the most easiest, and then you build from there.
Yeah, definitely.
So I love that.
But you know, the easiest thing of all is to do nothing. So you have to be willing to be a little bit uncomfortable.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the easiest thing is a long walk, honestly.
Yep.
It benefits you in so many ways, like the meditation aspect of it as well, like especially if you do a phone-free walk.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always allow time for that during my day. I want to go back to starting the morning with the coffee, not eating all day. This is fasting essentially. And when I talked about my yo-yo dieting, I definitely also did the intermittent fasting thing for a long time. Now there's more data showing that this is not great for women. And a lot of these diets that we've been on, all these programs that we've followed, they're designed for men. What's your take on fasting versus fueling for a busy entrepreneur?
So I think the big appeal for women with fasting is, oh, it works for weight loss. And the only reason fasting can work for weight loss is because you're decreasing your eating window.
Totally.
Right? It's no magic of I'm fasting and it's making the fat come off. You're just giving yourself boundaries of when you're going to consume the calories that you normally would over a span of 8 hours. Maybe you're putting it into a 3-hour window. And for some people, that helps them to stop overeating. But men run on a 24-hour cycle for their hormones. Women run on a 28 to 32 day
Isn't that insane?
That's insane. We literally can have 4 personalities in a 28-day period. We've got our follicular, ovulation, our luteal, and our bleed. And so a lot of the health research that's been done, there's very little research that has been done on women, any health field. So a lot of this intermittent fasting is great for a testosterone dominant male. Us women that have progesterone and estrogen and we're at a different place in our cycle, it's just not a good idea. And especially if you're taking someone who has an unhealthy relationship with food, who is running on fumes and caffeine as it is, and they're going to try intermittent fasting, they're going to feel more unwell in their body. I would say if you want to try fasting for the benefit of feeling maybe energized and you like the feeling of giving yourself these boundaries with your eating window, and maybe I've heard that it can help you sleep better and you feel more energized and it can give you a kickstart to your digestion and your digestion works better. If those are the reasons you are doing it, then I think that there can be a time and a place in our cycle, and the best time that you could do that is in your follicular and ovulation phase.
Yeah.
Not in your luteal, not in your bleed. And that takes getting to know your cycle, which is something that's very foreign to us. It was not taught in school. We were taught that here's a little pill, it's called birth control, and this is going to answer all of your worries in your life. And well, a lot of those women are now facing infertility and their PCOS and endometriosis that have been on birth control for so long. Getting to know our cycle feels like a very foreign thing, but it's like that book you read. It unlocks a superpower.
100%.
And you can flow your life with it, your work schedule. Like I am looking at my work schedule the month ahead, and I know when my bleed is. I know when I'm ovulating. When I'm ovulating, I'm going to be more creative. When I'm in my luteal, I'm going to want to do deep dive into computer work, into my systems.
In luteal?
Into organizing.
Interesting.
But early luteal.
Okay.
Luteal is our longest phase. So
I'm a blob in luteal. Like I'm not doing anything that week.
Yeah, but you probably are looking at things and wanting to organize them. Like that might be a time where you're looking at your makeup room and being like, this is chaotic. I need organization.
More back end stuff, I guess. Yeah. Less creativity, but more. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Like looking at the systems, and it's not just systems in your business. It's like systems in your life too. So I would say that the creative work for your ovulation, your follicular, and then resting in your luteal, but also doing some computer work or something that needs to be organized. Getting to know your cycle and the cycle in the month ahead. If you're planning your travel, your big jobs, where am I going to be at in my cycle? Knowing that I have thought patterns that come up and I feel uncomfortable wearing tight clothes when I'm on my bleed. And so knowing that is a superpower.
100%. And it's crazy to me how many people still don't know. Like I was doing this woman's makeup the other day, and I actually had been invited to a birthday that night, and I was heavy in the luteal phase, feeling like crap. And I was with my client. She's sort of a friend of mine too. So we're having this casual conversation. And I just said, you know what? I think I'm going to cancel on tonight. I don't feel like going. I'm in my luteal phase. It's not a good time for socializing and meeting new people and all of that. And she said, you're in your what? And I said, I'm in my luteal phase. And she said, what the hell is that? And she's my age.
Yeah.
As well as that, I've got some girls in my mentorship right now, and a few of them this last week were just like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like crap. I'm down and out, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, where are you at in your cycle? Because it's so telling. And like, I used to just raw dog life knowing nothing about my cycle. Can I tell you something, which you'll die over this? Until I read the book In the Flow, I did not know that you could only fall pregnant like 2 to 3 days of the month. Like I just thought if I have unprotected sex, I can get pregnant any day of the month. Like that is how my brain worked until literally like a few years ago. So yeah, I think we're all just starting to learn more about our bodies. But if you can really read a book like In the Flow or something like that, I use the Aura Ring, which tracks my cycle, tells me when I'm ovulating, tells me exactly what stages of my cycle I'm in. And like you say, use it as a superpower. My masterclasses always fall around luteal and menstrual.
Oh, yeah.
And like all last year, I'm like, why did I do this to myself? So I'm trying to get better at that this year, like just planning ahead. You know, only taking on these big jobs when I know I'm going to feel good. And we all don't have that luxury where we can pick and choose when we work. And I get that. But even things like socializing, like I will say no that week to new things and going out to events and meeting new people because I just know I'm not feeling like my best self. I'm not going to present as my best self.
I think that every woman should track her cycle. I really love the app Stardust. It's very easy to track. It's got very insightful guidance. Amazing thing about tracking your cycle is the more data that you collect, the more accurate the predictions are going to be. I can go and scroll ahead to May when I'm hosting a women's retreat, and I know where I'm going to be at in my cycle. I've been tracking it for about 2 years now.
Because it does change a bit, doesn't it?
It does change by a couple of days, but you know, whether your cycle is 28 days, maybe it's 33 days, and I get it. Some women's cycles are all over the place and it's really unpredictable, and that can be really hard and defeating, but don't not track your cycle, because there are going to be patterns that come up, and we weren't taught this in school.
No, not at all.
I didn't hear those words in our sex ed class.
No, sex ed was like how to put a condom on.
On a banana.
Yeah. And
a woman bleeds and like it's a burden.
I remember learning
Birth
about
control is gonna solve all your problems. Like that's what it was. I'm pretty sure in my hometown we were all part of a birth control trial, because every single woman in grade 8 walked to the birth control clinic after that sex ed class, and we all went on birth control. 12 years old. Because we were told our period is a burden. It's going to help clear up our acne. You got this convenient little sugar pill that if you want to skip a period, you can. How fucked is that?
Yeah.
That we can just skip a natural process that is not a burden. And I know it's a drag to be bleeding, but this is...
I love it.
I love it.
I'm like, yes, I'm healthy. Like, I love the feeling. Like,
and it's a release.
Yes.
Like, that is you releasing the last 28 to 32 day cycles of your existence. So like if you had a heavy month, you're going to have a hard bleed. You're going to cry more. You're going to have more cramps. And it's like, bless that.
Yeah.
Because your body is shedding all of the shit that you just held on to for the last month. It's such a blessing.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one there, because like I hear people complain when their period's coming up, and I'm like, I get excited.
Yeah.
I get so excited. I've got friends that also use the pill to skip. I've never been on birth control.
That's amazing. Good for you.
I know, and I don't. Actually, I do remember when I was young and I was with this boyfriend that I mentioned before who used to call me fat. My mum suggested to me that I get on birth control, and I put on a lot of weight. So that scared the hell out of me, and I never touched it ever again, which now that I'm older, I'm grateful, because I know that it can cause complications. I mean, you can have complications either or. Really glad that I didn't keep on that. But yeah, I just think your period should be something you look forward to.
Yeah. And I think it goes too with building trust in your body, right? If a woman is in her ovulation phase and she doesn't necessarily know this, and she's like, I am rocking life right now. I'm glowing. I feel so good. I have creative energy. And she doesn't realize that in 14 days from now, she's going to be down in the dumps. She's going to be living in her head. She's going to be taking herself too serious. And she's going to be going on these thought spirals of, I am not enough, big time imposter syndrome. That is the luteal phase.
It gives you it helps
But
you.
when you can like, oh, this is normal.
Yeah.
This is going to happen to me every single month until perimenopause starts. Like, it's a breath of fresh air.
It gives you
helps
grace.
Me, it helps me laugh at myself and be like, oh my God, thank fuck. I don't got to take myself so serious.
It's so true. Like, yeah, I used to... Validating.
Yeah.
I was just raw dogging life, and I'd get depressed and think, what is wrong with me? Now I can go, oh, it's all right.
Sense.
And I've taught my husband as well. My husband grew up with 3 brothers, a dad and a mum who never spoke about her womanly things.
Yeah.
Like, why would you when you have 3 sons? He knew nothing about nothing when we met each other. And so I've trained him so well. And so he'll say, oh, Habibi, are you in the luteal phase this week? And I'll be like, yes. And it's nice to be on the same page about that and understand each other and understand yourself. That is the main thing.
Big time. It builds that connection and trust with you, but for your partner too. Like, it's helpful for them. Something that they say to you when you're ovulating and everything is very joyful is going to hit a little bit differently when you're on your bleed. And for them to be like, what the heck? Like, she's crazy.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that every man that has said that to a woman has no idea about her cycle and doesn't realize that something that felt very different 2 weeks ago hits a little bit differently because she's in her head about it. But step 1, I think, for women is to understand their cycle themselves. So learning to track your cycle, it's not complex, it's not confusing. Using an app like Stardust, or if you have an Aura ring, get consistent with the data. There's that consistency with all things. And then share that with your lover.
Yeah.
They want to know like how they can talk to you, what they can do to
So
have a
true.
better relationship. And it's fun. Like, it's insightful.
Funny. It is funny.
With the Stardust app, you can invite your partner to view it. And so when they view it, you'll get a notification like so-and-so has viewed your chart. And I'll get that with my husband all the time. Like Swabik has viewed your chart. I'm like, oh, and he only will open it ever when you've made close to my ovulation. I'm I'm going to be a little bit more horny. And like, he can sense that because he has his own hormones and his pheromones and things like that. I swear, like my man can smell me when I'm ovulating. He's like, I know. I think it's fun for them, and not fun, but insightful. It's something you guys can do together, and you get to know each other more and how you can both serve each other better. And
totally. We had a scenario last week where I was deep in my luteal phase and Bashir was doing nothing wrong. He was drinking out of a water, you know, those plastic water bottles that you buy in like a case, and they're crunchy. Yeah. He was drinking out of that, but like chugging it. And the noise. I feel this already. And I just looked at him, and he just stopped dead like this, and he said, "I'm going to go now." And he just left and went to work. And that was when he came home and said, "Are you in your luteal phase?" Oh my God. I was like, yes, thanks for picking up on that. That's awesome. But just like those little things will drive you nuts. Their breathing can drive you nuts. But it's nice to be like, okay, I don't hate them. I'm just in my luteal phase and it's fine. In a week, I'm going to love them again. You know?
And on the topic of cycles, your food has a massive, massive impact on your cycle. So many women that I work with, when they start their nutrition program, their cycle is all over the place. They can't predict when they're going to be ovulating because some days their cycle is 15 days, some days it's 38 days. Food has a massive impact on how you feel in your body, obviously, but also developing that consistency of regaining your cycle in a consistent time format. So 28 to 32 days is our pretty typical numbers. Food has a massive impact on your PMS symptoms. So someone that has raging crazy periods, they've got to have a heating pack. They can't leave the house. Like they've got Midol on the speed dial. I can take a look at their diet and there's going to be some room for some big improvements. It has a huge impact.
I heard in the luteal phase that we should be eating warmer foods, like more meats, more stews, more soups, that kind of stuff. And then in follicular, you don't feel as hungry. You feel a bit lighter and maybe you're having more salads. Is that right?
Yeah. So ovulation, think summer, spring. So it's a cold food phase of our cycle. So eating salads, not worrying about heating things up, having fresh ingredients, maybe even a less cooked foods and more foods that you could just put together that are whole as they are. Yeah. Not skipping on protein. Of course, we got to cook that, obviously. And then on our luteal, it's more our winter. So think winter warm foods, crock pot meals, soups and stews, things like that. And the same with our bleed. It's also that winter. And then we're getting into follicular and ovulation, where again, that season is changing from autumn to spring. And you want that freshness, you want crisp.
It's really fascinating.
It is.
Yeah, I really encourage any woman listening to just explore that. I'm also listening to, at the moment, SheMD. It's a podcast to female doctors. They interview a lot of celebrities, but they're interviewing women to talk about their experiences with pregnancy and endometriosis and all of that, and also just like advocating for your health. Like I had the terrible period for years and years and years, pushed and pushed and pushed. Every doctor was recommending birth control. Yeah. And then it turned out that I had a polyp on my uterus that was causing these problems. So sometimes there is something deeper.
Definitely. Yeah.
And it requires you to be like, no, I think something's really wrong. Like we know our bodies better than anyone, right? We know ourselves. So just advocating for that as a woman, because there are still a lot of health professionals that will just kind of push you away and give you the prescription without kind of digging deeper and really trying to figure out, no, why is this happening?
Yes.
You know, and that's why I love working with you. And, you know, I've also worked with naturopaths in the past, and just like, I don't know, I feel like you get better answers and you get to know yourself better. And for me, that's what I love. I love getting to know myself and what works for me and what doesn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we're coming up to the end of the episode. I have a couple of rapid fire questions for you.
Exciting.
What are some health fads that you just completely roll your eyes at?
GLP-1, the keto diet.
Keto.
Yeah.
But keto's high protein, right?
High fat and high protein.
Okay.
The biggest reason for keto, it's not sustainable. Are you going to honestly tell me that you're never going to have carbs for the rest of your life? That sounds awful. You're going to be miserable. So it goes into I want quick results in a short amount of time. There is nobody that is in a keto diet that can honestly say they're going to do it till the day they die.
Stick to it, yeah.
That's depressing. That's awful.
I think the Atkins diet's similar to that. Oh no, Atkins is high protein, no carbs.
No carbs, yeah.
And no sugar.
Again, as women, like we need carbohydrates. We need it to function. We need it for energy on our bleed. We want more carbohydrates. It's our brain power. You meet somebody that is cutting out all carbs, it's hard to carry on with a conversation for them because they don't have the cognitive capacity. They're also angry AF.
That's interesting.
They're missing out on carbohydrates. That's our body's preferred source of burning fuel is carbohydrates.
That's a good observation that you notice that they're angry.
Oh, yeah. I'd be angry too if I could never eat
Totally.
carbs. That's miserable.
Yeah. When I was yo-yo dieting, I convinced myself that I had a gluten intolerance and a dairy intolerance.
Yeah.
Just didn't eat bread or cheese for like a year.
Terrified of it, right?
Then I met my Lebanese husband. He was like, Habibi, we're going to be eating a lot of bread and cheese, so get used to it.
Yeah.
And now I can't imagine anything different. You have to enjoy food as well, right? And you can enjoy it in a healthy, sustainable way.
Well, and these foods have got a bad rep, dairy and gluten and carbohydrates, because it's so easy to overeat processed food that is usually carbohydrate based, chips, pastries. Yeah, it's over easy to eat that stuff. It's delicious. Does that lump all carbohydrates into the same bucket? No. A croissant is not the same as a baked yam.
Right.
Yeah,
I was going to say the sweet potato thing. It's like, yeah, there's one that you've mentioned on your Instagram that I'm thinking of.
And is a trend? Is a fad?
Yes.
Give me a hint.
The greens. The green.
Oh! Greens powder.
Greens powder.
Greens
Talk to us
powder,
about greens
Diplo
powder.
Okay, so everybody thinks that this is all of the vitamins and minerals that you need in one little packet. I think it's a waste of money. I think that you can eat your fruits and your vegetables and you don't have to have it processed down to a powder. I think it's just a load of BS, greens powder. Especially, what's that really popular one, AG1? Even David.
I almost got sucked into that.
Yeah.
And they have a subscription and I'm like on the website about to buy it. And then I messaged you and you were like, fuck no, Kelsey, go and eat a plate of vegetables.
Yeah.
Like that's what you said to me. And I was like, okay.
I think people love the convenience of having something be in a packet. Like I'm getting 100 fruits and vegetables in this packet. No, you're not. That's not possible. It's also a ton of bullshit fillers in there and emulsifiers that are probably going to disrupt your gut flora. But we can make some things be convenient. Protein powder is convenient. Do we need to make fruits and vegetables be convenient when I freaking love biting into a crisp apple? I love eating grapes. I don't want to put that into a powder to drink it. But I don't like it because it's usually awful ingredients. It's not giving you what you think it is. People are really obsessed with it. I will say, if you love it and it's working for you and you feel good, keep having it. I would take a peek at the ingredients, maybe send them to me, and I can give you some tips on whether it's good or not.
Yeah.
But it's not what you think it is.
You gave me a really good tip before because I was talking to you about some things that I've been buying from Costco, like the egg white bites and whatnot. And I know you always look at the back and you always talk about the ingredients. And I said to you, I'm not really sure what I'm looking out for. And you said, if it's a word you've never heard or you don't understand, it's probably bad for you.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily bad for you, but if it, Whole Foods, you pick up an apple, there's no nutrition label.
It's an apple.
Apple is an apple.
Yeah.
So the less ingredients that you have, it's probably less of a processed food. But when I think about a label, I want to see food on the label. I don't want to see a bunch of words that does not sound like food. I have a lot on my Instagram page about what ingredients to look for because I know it can be confusing for sure. Something about a label that people don't often realize is it goes in order of quantity. So the first ingredient on the label is going to be what's most plentiful.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What's at the end of the paragraph is going to be what the least amount of what that is in it. So if you're looking at something and the first thing is glucose and fructose, which is sugar, like that's a high sugar item. You can also go up and look at the label. It says grams of sugar and it's probably going to be high if sugar is the first ingredient.
Yep. Something I'm really guilty for, and I know you hate this, but I want the people to hear your opinion and also as a reminder to myself, the energy drinks.
Yeah.
Anxiety in a can, you call it.
Anxiety in a can. Yep. There are cleaner energy drinks. There's yerba mate, which is
that's like a tea.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a plant that grows in South America and it got caffeine in it. I really like that. You can get it in a can. It's yellow. I've seen it everywhere. My problem with energy drinks is they've got shit ingredients, but people are filling the space that should be a meal and they're getting a quick fix. They're getting a quick burst of dopamine. They're like, I can conquer the world. And then 35 minutes later, they're like, I hate life.
It's going back to why we drink the coffee in the morning because we need something. We're hungry. We're replacing it with a caffeine substitute.
Yeah. And so it's like, oh, this is what I needed. And again, you're going to get a little bit of an appetite suppressant. So it's like, oh, I actually wasn't hungry. I just needed this. But again, the hunger's there. You're just delaying it. You're pushing it.
Yeah.
Pushing it, and it's going to come back with a vengeance. It's going to come back with a migraine.
Yeah.
And oftentimes too, that caffeinated drink should just be water. Your body needs hydration.
Yeah.
You need a sip of water.
You know why I crave the energy drink? It's not even so much for energy. I like the sweet treat.
Yeah.
I like the drinking something other than water. However, having this aura ring, it's really life-changing, to be honest, because you start to see all these things happening with your body. Like for me, I noticed that my stress levels I was in an engaged state almost every day. Wow. And I messaged one of my friends, Zoe, who's a makeup artist, and she's big on the aura ring. And she said, what kind of caffeine are you having every day? And I said, well, I have the coffee in the morning, then I have the energy drink in the afternoon. And she said, cut one of them. Mm-hmm. So I cut the energy drink just this past week, actually.
Oh, okay.
And I've totally dropped into a restored level.
Wow.
So that energy drink, and mind you, doesn't give you that much energy.
It's very short.
It's nice to drink, and also influencer marketing around energy drinks is insane. Like the Alani energy drinks, which is the one that I gravitate for. It's because there's bloody so much influencer marketing around it. I think the influencer owns the company. Like they make it look appealing, and it's like the marketing of it all that gets us sucked in. But even I have to remind myself, like, is this actually even making me feel better? It's causing me to sleep super late, and my nervous system is through the roof because of this energy drink, you know?
Yeah. And anytime we're looking at our disrupted sleep, our hunger regulating hormones, which are ghrelin and leptin, they go basically to ground zero when we sleep and we get that restorative sleep. A person that struggles with discipline, look at their sleep patterns, they're probably not sleeping well. And we can all say, if we have shit sleep, it's hard to have discipline and think logically the next day, especially around food. If you had a crappy sleep, you are going to overeat the next day.
Yeah.
Because your hunger regulating hormones are all over the place. Discipline is nowhere to be seen in the room, and you just can't get food in you fast enough. Or you're going many hours without eating, and when you get to that meal, you're so hungry. You're eating so quickly in a copious amount as well.
For me, that's when I crave the sugar and the salt when I've had a bad sleep. I want the fries. I want the Doritos.
And it's hard to say no. Like, oh, I'm just going to have this small portion. Probably not.
Yeah.
You probably won't. So I think when you're craving that, so you're getting to a midday, you need a pick-me-up. And again, I think it's so important that you look beyond the moment, because we're so used to, I need this thing right now to feel a quick fix. Look beyond the day. Like, are you going to be going to bed in a couple hours? Is an energy drink a good idea? Probably not. But if you're needing a quick fix, like a cup of tea, or I don't advocate for diet drinks like Diet Coke and things like that. But if that's going to...
Us makeup artists love a crispy Diet Coke.
You know, I think that's okay. If the Diet Coke is going to prevent you from downing an energy drink that's going to give you anxiety or make you eat a bathtub of fries, have a Diet Coke. That's fine.
Yeah, it could be worse.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
And if you need that sweet little fix. But also remember that fruit has sugar in it. So like just try replacing that with, I'm going to bite into a crispy apple or have a bowl of grapes that I wash, because grapes are loaded with pesticides. Wash your fruit and veggies, people. It's a habit, right? That book by James Clear.
Atomic Habits.
Yeah. Is so much of the time when we've gotten a cue for a craving, and it's like, oh, it's midday. It's when I have my Alani. It's just so ingrained that you're walking over to the fridge and like, I didn't even know I was
I'm
here.
usually
I'm
just
like,
bored.
opening. Yeah, you're bored. Okay.
Yeah.
So like, what can I replace this habit with of something that I want? Like, I don't really want the water, but I'm going to pour myself a glass of water, because then you're giving that cue a healthy habit in its place. And over time, it will get easier. But then that's where the habit stacking comes on too, is you replace a bad habit with a good one, and then an immediate habit that follows that's also a good habit. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go get some fresh air. I'm going to go for a 15-minute walk.
Yeah. We love that book, Atomic Habits, in the entrepreneurial space. It's great for business and life. I have started having like a sachet of electrolytes a day.
Yep,
so there's one called BioSteel. It's a peach flavor, and I've got that in my Stanley now, and I just have that once a day. I also found these magnesium sachets, which I did send to you. There was one ingredient in there that you didn't love, but you said that it was better than nothing. And it's kind of like a lime lemon flavor, and it fizzes. Feels like a little sweet treat or just something different to replace the energy drink. So I'm like maybe finding something like that.
I like Arbonne fizz sticks.
They are good.
You like those too?
Yeah.
The caffeine is from ginseng. So yes, it's still a caffeine source, but it is
Bit
a
more
more
natural.
natural source. For me, a cutoff with my fizz stick is I can't have them after 2:30
Yeah.
p.m. because it will disrupt my sleep.
Yeah, if I have caffeine, well, I've just noticed it literally in the data this past couple of weeks that if I'm having it after 1 o'clock, I'm not going to bed before midnight.
Yeah.
And then when you cut it out, all of a sudden you're tired and you're like, oh, this is my natural.
Yeah. And I'm going to reward myself with going
to bed.
It feels so good.
We're like little kids. You know how little kids like fight sleep? Like we kind of do the same as adults.
Totally.
Why do we do that to ourselves?
I know.
Why do we torture ourselves?
I know.
Okay, well, we've covered a lot today. I'm so grateful for that conversation because I'm so passionate about it. I actually started a health science degree. I don't know if I've ever told you that.
I don't think you did.
Yeah, so I started a health science degree because I have always been passionate about nutrition and health and whatnot. Didn't love university, wanted to be an entrepreneur. Here we are. But it still is a big passion of mine and I love learning. So that's why I've always loved chatting to you about this. I just want people to hear a bit more about what you offer in terms of your programs.
Yes.
So why don't you share a bit more about that?
Sure, yes. First of all, it's hard copy because I'm a big pen to paper kind of a gal.
We didn't even talk about that.
No, we didn't.
No.
Yeah.
So when you sign up to Darcie's program, she actually sends you a binder, like your own binder that's like you're flicking the pages.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. In the beginning, I was like, just send me that damn digital copy. Like,
Yeah.
I want it
We're so
right
used
now.
to electronic copies, right?
Right? You pointed out that, like, when you're following something digitally, you're still on your damn phone. And it's so easy to get distracted. And I know myself, if I try and find a recipe on TikTok, all of a sudden I've stopped what I'm doing in the kitchen and I'm on TikTok looking at some makeup tutorial or whatever. So you put it in a way where you were like, I want you to enjoy this experience, be present in the kitchen, be turning the pages, be writing notes, and just be doing something other than having your phone in your hand.
Yeah.
And I grew to really love that. There was definitely moments where I was like, hey, can you send me this recipe because I'm not home right now and I need it, you know?
Yeah.
But love the whole binder thing.
I do have electronic as well now. So you get an electronic copy and the hard copy. And my clients call this their food Bible. And it's going to live on your counter. The pages are in laminate pages because they're going to get food all over them, as they should with things in the kitchen. All your food is laid out for you. So I find that when someone is struggling to get the foundation of eating well, like even just having structure, there's no indecision. All of it is laid out for you, every single meal, for the length of 4 to 6 months, which seems like a lot, but 4 months being 16 weeks, that's an entire season. So you work on your habits for 4 months. I can tell you, you will be a transformed person from the inside out at that 4-month period. So the food itself, it's basic, it's simple food. I get lots of people that say like, oh, I'm not a good cook and I don't know how to cook. That's all right. We're going to start with the basics. You're going to get comfortable in the kitchen, or maybe you love cooking and you are looking for more variety. The recipes are simple, they're foolproof, they're family favorites, and you're going to fall in love with the process and learning how to meal prep and going to the grocery store with a plan, with a grocery list, and what it looks like to have a fridge stocked and be able to take these tools with you. Because I understand that anyone that follows this program, they're not going to stay put for the whole season. Lots of people are going to go camping and they're going to go to weddings and things like that. So learning these skills at home in your kitchen, and what am I going to do when I'm traveling? What am I going to do when I'm camping? What am I going to order off of the menu when I don't even know what I'm looking at? So it's very transferable skills that you can apply to any setting in your life. And that's what I want people to walk away with. Not just like, oh, I can do well while I'm following my meal plan. I want you to know how to make choices around food for life. And that's my biggest
For your
goal.
specific scenario as well, because
Yeah.
everyone's different. We all have different careers and different lives.
Totally. Yeah.
And like you can look at a meal plan online, but do you have that accountability part? And is it specific to your
Exactly.
life and
this
where
is
you're at?
Yeah, this is a tailored program. I work with lots of people that have sensitivities and different food allergies, so I'm going to tailor that all in. Lots of people are looking for weight loss, and other people, they don't necessarily care about the scale and they just want to feel better in their body. Not going to lie, pretty much everybody is looking for weight loss, and you're definitely going to achieve that.
Yeah.
But you're also going to rebuild that trust with food, understand it more. We're going to uncover food fears, because we always do. Even the person that says they have no food fears, we're going to find it. We're going to find that fear.
What was my food fear?
carbs, fats.
Was it?
A little bit closed off to having more meat. Like that was a struggle for you.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Even just trying new things in general, though. It's funny how we get so stuck in our ways and you're like, I don't know about this, Dar. Just stay open to trying it. Stay open to doing something different. And then it's like, oh my gosh, I love steak. I love having this. And then it was really cool because you brought that connection. Like my dad was a butcher.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Until this program. I was like, wow, this is in my blood.
Yeah. And a memory, like a visceral memory of
Yeah.
your youth. Yeah. And so you have check-ins as well that have photos and measurements, which can make people very uncomfortable. But
I hated doing that.
take the photos because the vessel changes.
I know. I hate taking a photo of my naked body and having that on
you
my
don't have
phone.
to be naked.
Well, yeah, almost. But no, I think I was in my workout gear because I was like, I don't want to do this in a thong and a bra. Yeah.
Like
but
you don't have to.
but you do see the results.
You see the results
Yeah.
and they're hard to take and it's hard to rip the Band-Aid off and just see yourself in that raw and vulnerable way. And I think a lot of women, then they're really uncomfortable in their body. They're used to wearing really baggy clothes. But to see yourself like, this is my data, this is my front, side, and back photo, these are my measurements. It sucks that I'm here, but I am not going to hate myself into change. You have to have that respect for yourself when you're starting out because, we can't hate ourselves into change. It's okay to be uncomfortable with where you're at.
Yeah.
But we have to have that, a little bit of love for ourselves to be able to get to where we want to go.
Something you said to me in the program that I'll never forget is I obviously wanted to lose a bit of weight as well. I'd put on weight, my clothes were tight and all of that. And before we even started the program, I remember you sent me this voice note and you were like, Kels, you've been through a lot. Your life has changed. Your world has changed. If you need to go and buy some new clothes, go and buy the new fucking clothes. Yeah. Go and buy the size up for God's sake. Like, stop torturing yourself. And I did.
Yeah.
And that was just like so freeing for me to be like, wow, I can just buy a size up. It's not going to kill me. Like, why am I trying to force myself to look the way that I looked when I was 25 years old?
Yeah.
Because I have this picture of when I was 25.
And I asked you, like, would you want to go back to where you were at 25? Burnt out, anxious.
In a terrible relationship.
Like
all of that. No. So I just loved that even though your goal was essentially to help me lose weight, but then you're saying like, it's okay to buy bigger clothes. Like that was just a really nice moment for me.
And I think so much of us, hold on to that pair of jeans or that dress. And it's like, this is my goal to fit in this again. Well, we can't go backwards.
Yeah.
So many people are like, oh, well, when I was in college, I really want to get down to that 135. I'm like, well, first of all, we can't look behind us. Anything that we do, like eyes forward. We can't look in the rearview mirror of our life. Like we're going forward.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee you, again, like your dream body, you will be amazed that it's not the number on the scale that is determining the dream body. If you put some muscle on your body and you feel really well fueled, the number on the scale is not going to be what you think it is.
Well, thank you so much for today.
Yes.
Thank you for everything you've done for me. And I know that everyone listening is going to learn so much from today's episode. And we're going to link all of Darcie's Instagram and website and everything in the show notes. So if anyone's interested, they can reach out to you. But even just to follow you. Darcie does these posts, I think I mentioned it before, but like what to buy and what not to buy from Costco or lots of carousel posts. It's like very informative and very educational. So
it's a food inspo.
No BS type content, which we love to see. So I just love following you.
Yeah. And don't be a stranger. If you have questions, if you're looking at labels, if you're wanting to increase your knowledge, send me a DM.
Yeah.
Love
You're
chatting.
an open book. Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yay.